That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. The multiverse of geekdom. I am
Ooh.
Jedi Master Tuck filling in for the head geek Ben. And as always, I have with me Dave on this side, actually, over here. Uh, to talk some more Lost, guys. We are going to talk about season two in total. We're going to talk about the whole season, doing it a little bit different now. So Dave, what were your thoughts rewatching this again? I mean, I know you know it pretty well, but
This was before the rewatch. This was the season that I probably had watched the least, just because there's not an episode in this season that I just pick out when I'm like I want to watch this episode.
okay.
But rewatching it this time, I was really impressed. I think this is the most hills and valleys season where you get something like the other 48 days collision, but then like is what Kate did really, we all knew she killed her dad, so like what are we doing with that?
Right. Well, right.
And then you get an episode like Lockdown, but then you get Dave, and it's like really ups and downs. But we were talking a little bit before the show, thoroughly
Mhm.
enjoyable still. Even I used to say this to Ben all the time, but even bad loss is good loss to me.
Sure. Oh, definitely.
Except for Fire Plus Water. That episode's bad, and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's my favorite season, but I did enjoy it watching it again. I had a lot of fun with some of the characters. I think there's a lot of good story beats in here, at least to keep the story going forward. Which we talked about a little bit before the show. Also, there was three sort of major storylines that they kind of try to hit, and I think, like you said before, weaving them together is kind of, they don't really hit it every time. Um, but it's a very dense season as far as story goes, and
Oh yeah.
and I mean they do give us a lot of stuff to think about and kind of try to figure out as we go through the season. So, but overall, I would say I enjoyed it. Yeah, watching it again.
Yeah, this is like a really big mythology season, I think, where
Sure.
we had a couple things in season one. And when I say a couple things, I mean the whole show. But like, we had a couple like big mysteries that were set up in season one, but
Mhm.
most of them not. Look at me on a Lost show saying they answered a lot of mysteries. Uh, but a lot of stuff like how did Jack's father die? What's the secret of the hatch? What's the black
Mhm.
rock? Who is the French woman? A lot of those got uh, got answered, and then a lot of the other questions that say Exodus set up get answered in this episode. Like, is everyone alive on the raft?
Right.
Is Anna like we just brought in Michelle Rodriguez for one episode. Surely she's coming back. And a lot of those get answered really early on in the season.
Hmm.
But I think season two does something where it sets up a lot of more questions that don't get answered for like four seasons, like, or even touched on again. Like we see the four-toed statue in the finale of this season,
Yes, we do.
and
Yes, we
that
do.
weird seeing it now that we're like that's Jacob's house.
Hmm.
But like full spoilers again, I always forget this is a spoiler show.
Yes,
um
of course.
but like I don't think we go back to the four-toed statue until the end of season 5. So
Right, because that's when it's the Jacob season, right? The when they're doing that whole storyline
yeah,
of
yeah.
what happened, right?
And then like even like we see stuff like the blast door map, which the most dissected piece of fiction or image from Lost, I think, is the map
Sure.
uh, of all the hatches, and people like, oh, Cerber, the word Cerberus is there, so that's what the smoke monster is, and stuff
Okay.
like that. A lot of great, and introduced to a lot of key new characters
Yes, for
for the
sure.
rest of the show. Like this season does a lot of legwork to set up other things. I think to its own detriment, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of stuff with the. I love the whole triangle with Kate and Jack now and Sawyer, and how Jack is jealous and whatever the heck that is. Um, But the hatch, man, I mean, things are just crazy
Mhm.
because they're trying to get through the wall. Well, at first they are. Uh, once they figure out that they're in this hatch, and then um, Desmond just leaves. He's just like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna since I don't. I'm not gonna die outside. I'm just gonna leave."
Well, that's some like behind the scenes stuff where originally
Okay.
Henry and Cusack, who plays Desmond, fan favorite, uh,
Yeah.
you know, our head geek Ben's favorite character on Lost.
Yep.
Desmond finally gets to make his appearance on screen.
Absolutely. Great. A
Um,
great. One of the best intros. I think the best intro in the show.
oh, well, the whole Henry Gale Ben
Sure.
situation is up, but like, yeah, but unless you're just talking about like the whole seeing Desmond do his whole like
His routine.
dated,
Yeah.
yeah, his routine, and then leading to he's in the hatch. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like then easily agree with you there. But Henry in Cusack was only hired for 3 episodes, and then he was gonna go away forever. He was not going to be on the show anymore.
Okay.
But then the fans, like all of us, were like, let's get that guy back.
Well, sure.
There was even a rumor that going around that initially the person running through the jungle that Ana Lucia shoots was going to be Desmond, not Shannon.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
But by that point, they had already decided we're going to bring him back, but not for a while. And a big part of that was when they were delivering the scripts, Carlton Cuse, one of the producers on the show, one of the head writers with Damon Lindelof, got the script for Orientation episode 3, and they were going to ship it out. And he realized the address he was like sending it to was like 4 doors down from him. And that was Henry and Cusack. That was Desmond's address. They were neighbors.
I think you've told me that before,
And
or told us before. Yeah. Okay.
the story goes that Desmond was not supposed to. The way he tells it is, yeah, I kept just once I found out Carlton lived there, I would go over once a week and say, "Hey, when you bring me back on the show?" And eventually, they brought me back.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a good story. That's a great story.
And I
I
think
like that.
Desmond, the creators often refer to as if Jack is the quarterback of Lost, Desmond's the wide receiver who like he's going to carry the ball over the end zone. He's going to make the play happen.
Okay.
And we see that where the final episode is not a Jack flashback. It's not an everybody episode. It's a Desmond flashback. And then Desmond
Sure.
ends up picking up a lot of the Walt storyline. Allegedly. They've never confirmed everything, but a lot of stuff that was supposed to happen with Walt, they just are like, here you go, Desmond.
Okay. 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 Huh. That makes sense now.
So
Or
what
at
do you...
least.
Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say it makes sense.
So since we're talking about Desmond and the hatch and stuff, why don't we just
Sure.
start right at the beginning?
Yep.
What do you think of that? Those first 3 episodes kind of tell like a Rashomon style story where we get like from everyone's different perspectives, and we find out that Desmond and Jack knew each other. What was your reaction to all of that?
Yeah, I love the I love the connection with Jack and Desmond because it sets up that moment when Jack has to go get Locke, and they're talking, and he says, I think he says brother.
Yeah,
But the way he says it, Jack recognizes it, and he's like,
blow his
"Wait a minute."
bloody head off, brother.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I do like that. It's a cool little thing, and again, it's storytelling. It's it's the cool, happy coincidence that makes sense. But I did like that storyline. But yeah, I feel like I feel like there has to be a conversation at that point with Hurley and these numbers. Like he doesn't say anything. Well, he
Well,
does, but they don't listen to him. I guess is the better way to say it.
Not only does Hurley say something, he tries to get Locke to punch in the wrong numbers.
Yes.
Bad look for Hurley. Bad look for Hurley. He almost blew
I
up
know.
the
I
world.
think good look for Hurley.
If we
From
know what
his
happens,
perspective. From his perspective, though, is what I'm saying.
I have the information. Hurley, bad
Sure.
on you. You almost ended the world.
Sure. But we also get the reveal that Desmond, well, at least we get his confirmation that he feels like he crashed the plane, which
Yeah.
is I think part of the reason why he leaves too, right? Isn't that connected to
No,
why
we
he
find
leaves?
that out in the final episode. That's what sends Desmond off to be like, I have to do the failsafe key and blow up the hatch because he's like, oh shoot, all of this is real. I crashed your plane.
But when in the early episodes when he Jack tells them the date that they crashed, he goes and looks at the papers,
No,
and
no,
he
no, no, no. That's the final episode because that's after they've
oh
gone to the.
really? Oh
Yeah,
wow,
that's
okay.
after Echo and Locke have found the Pearl Station because that's where they get that information from.
Okay, then I see. I'm mixing things up
No,
then because I thought that was earlier.
he runs away because the computer breaks and he's like, I can't
Okay.
fix it. I've got to go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here.
I'm
Okay.
outie.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Which is another crazy scene, because then we have to go get our best friend Saeed, um, to fix it,
Yeah.
which is a very good way to get him involved in the hatch situation now. So I love the way they bring people into the hatch too.
I that is great. I love that Hurley just by standing next to Saeed gets
Yeah.
gets fully brought into the hatch
Mhm.
and is like, "Oh shoot, we got to go down the hatch. Oh my god, this is bad. This is bad news bears." And then a couple episodes from now, Charlie comes up to Hurley and is like, "Hey, I'm not even on the bloody A team anymore, I guess.
I know. Yeah.
I was at the premiere. It was me, Kate, and Jack. And I'm not even going down the hatch anymore?"
That is, yeah, they did kind of do Charlie a little dirty in that sense. Well, they did him dirty in a lot of ways because
This
what
season
happens, yeah,
is straight up character assassination on Charlie.
yeah, it really is, man. It really is. Yeah, it sucks. But I'll be honest. At this moment, again, I know the information, but I still feel like not pushing the button because even though I don't trust Ben, he also says towards the end, which he's lying. But nothing happened. Nothing happened. I didn't turn the key or I didn't push the button and nothing happened.
But he definitely pushed the button.
Well, we know that because
'Cause Ben-
he's not going to not push the button. Yeah, of
No,
course.
because he was in the DI. He definitely knows about what would happen if he didn't push it. But at that point,
Is
he's
he
just trying
not
to...
allowed to kill Locke there?
No, at that point, he's still trying to get convince everyone that he's Henry Gale, that he is not the leader of the others, and murdering Locke would be a bad look, I think.
I'm just saying, from his perspective, knowing what he knows, that's the perfect time to get rid of Locke for
But
him.
he doesn't know anything about Locke yet, though. That's the problem.
Oh, that's right. Not yet, I guess. Yeah,
Locke
okay.
wasn't even on next season. We'll find out that the list that Michael receives from maybe one of my least favorite characters in all of Lost, Miss Clue.
Oh yeah.
That list.
What is
came...
with that story? Well, I mean, I know we'll get to it, but that's a weird one for me.
I don't know, man. It's Walt got too tall. We need to get him off the island.
Yeah.
But we find out that like that list came from Jacob, so like Locke's not even special yet because I don't think he is fully aware of the wheelchairedness of Locke yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have the dates written down because we were going the whole season, but around
Sure.
time, they've only been there for like 50 days, I think, at the time that Locke and stuff is down there. It's only been about two and a half, or I guess longer than that, but it's only been like 2-3 months at most.
Sure.
Not even less than that because the end of season 4 is day 100, I think. So
So Ethan wasn't sending any information back on Locke.
I don't think so because he
At
was
that
so. We find out in this. We find out from Tom Friendly, I think, that Ethan was a rogue agent. Like he got found out and went rogue, essentially kidnapping Claire. Like that's not what he was supposed to do.
Well,
he was
I would assume not.
he was supposed to wait for her to give birth, steal baby.
Okay.
We find that out in the Libby hypnotizes Claire so she remembers her memories.
Which I still don't really understand why she doesn't remember anything.
It's a traumatic event, you know.
So it is what Libby says, that she's just pushing it out of her mind.
Yeah, and then also like when we see Claire, like she is heavily drugged at those.
Oh, for sure. No,
So,
she's
like,
heavily drugged.
she's drugged. You know, as someone with a pregnant wife right now, I can tell you, you know, no offense to pregnant women, but they do not remember stuff the best. So
Fair enough.
you know, Claire's also not eating. She's not sleeping.
Yeah,
And it was a traumatic event. They're lucky they got anything out of her.
I got you. No, that does make sense. It does make sense. I don't know. I don't know. It was because the way they play it in this season, it's more of like she's just kind of out of it. Not that she doesn't know what's going on. She knows what's going on.
Yeah,
She's just more out of it than anything. I don't know.
I think after Charlie, and maybe even worse than Charlie, the person done most dirty by this season, and the rest of the show for that matter, is Claire. They have no idea what to do with Claire now that she's had Aaron.
None.
Like, I think she has some really nice moments with Mr. Echo, character who I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time talking about.
Yeah. Yes. One of my favorite characters.
Oh, easily one of my favorite characters. And if it wasn't for all the behind the scenes BS and him just straight up not wanting to live in Hawaii, he would have been someone he would have been a huge character, I think.
Yeah, I like Mr. Echo a lot.
Me too. But yeah, I think Claire, they have no idea what to do with her.
Well, no, because they just make up this insane Charlie wants to kill the baby storyline just to keep her in the show. Basically.
All right, why don't we just
Sorry, I know it's just.
Let's talk about Fire Plus Water. My least favorite episode of Lost. Okay. Ben's least favorite episode of Lost.
Yes.
And I think the low point. A lot of people say Jack goes to Thailand and we find out how he got his tattoos. Is the worst episode.
I don't like that episode. I don't.
That's
like
coming.
It. Yeah, I know. Okay. I know, but I don't like it.
But let's talk about Fire Plus Water. Charlie wants to drown the baby, and also we get Hello Everybody's, where Drive Shaft does a diaper commercial.
Oh my god, dude! One of the funniest things too. Yeah, I love it.
But then that episode is just they had done so much work to so much good work showing Charlie's road to recovery and not using anymore. And I don't know. I think it will be a conversation. Do you think this is like smoke monster weirdness, or is Charlie using heroin? I think the show wants us to think that he is at the beginning, and then by the end of the season, it's like, no, he was never using heroin. But
no, I definitely don't think he's using at all. At all, I don't think he does one time.
No, but I think the show really, especially in this episode, wants us to think.
Oh, for sure.
Think that, and
yeah.
Even though there is a great moment, I think it's in the episode right before Fire Plus Water, where Claire finds, or Mr. Echo smashes the Virgin Mary,
right? Yep.
And Claire sees it and it's like, Charlie, didn't you tell me you were a drug addict? And he's like, how do you remember that? I thought you had amnesia.
Yeah.
That episode, I don't know what they thought they were doing.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing for Charlie to do, even in that situation. It's so weird. I don't even see him really having the statues, to be completely honest with you. I even think that's a stretch.
I don't think it's a stretch, because
I can see him having one as like a temptation, like having something that he has to fight the temptation, but having all 6 of them, that just makes him seem like he is using again. I mean, that's what I think makes it seem like he's using.
Yeah, it leads to a bigger question: is how did he even get those statues? Like,
right?
Did he say, Echo, look over there, because they burned the plane?
Yes.
So did Echo go and take just take a piss, and he was like, "I'm gonna just load up my bag with heroin."
Yeah. No, I don't understand how when he got him, but I also don't understand why he had. Like I said, I think him having one would make sense,
Mhm.
but not 6 or 7 or whatever it was that he had. That to me didn't make sense for some reason.
Now the episode, I think it also paints addiction in a very bad way,
Sure.
where everyone, and Charlie even points this out in the episode, which does not at all excuse it though, where Locke comes to him and is like, "Are you using again?" And he straight up says, "Kate sees a bloody horse running around. Almost everyone's seeing Walt, but I go see something and it must be the drugs." And it's like, yeah, you're right. Everyone is a little crazy right now, and maybe Charlie should get a break.
Yeah, a little bit. He is going through a pretty bad breakup at the moment. He's losing access to, as he says, his son.
That when they say when Charlie's like, he's not your son, and they're like, he's not your son either. The
Right.
look on Dominic Monaghan's face
Yeah.
is like he just got told in that moment, "Oh, wait, I'm not the dad." Oh no, like that wasn't acting. That was the actor forgetting that he wasn't the father. It's like, oh shoot, really? I've been playing this all wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of heartbreaking, man. It's kind of heartbreaking because he really is trying. Like he's just trying to like move on. Like he's still, like you said, it's only been what 2 3 weeks since he's really like got through the addiction
Probably
and
like a month, yeah.
so like he's fighting through that. He's just trying to be a good dad and be a good person for the baby and just take care of Claire. And he's just getting bombarded from all angles, and it's just like, damn, man. Like he can't get just ahead, man. He can't get ahead.
He can't. And then I think the flashbacks also don't do a great job because they try and set up that like they try and remind us that Liam was the problem.
Liam is
And
the problem for sure.
Liam definitely was the problem. But they
Yeah.
also are, but we've also seen where his life ends up, but they keep trying to tell us in the flashbacks, "Oh man, Liam going down a dark path." But we've already seen that he gets fine.
Right.
So it's
Well,
interesting.
but it's also sort of his fault why Charlie goes down the path he goes down.
It definitely is.
So when he turns him down later, which we'll get to, it's a little more heartbreaking because it's like, dude, I was there for you, like while you were going through this, and you
Yeah.
just straight sold my piano and left me. And now that I'm going through this, you're just kind of like being like, nah, I'm good. I don't know. I think Liam is the issue the whole time, even though Charlie's still responsible for his own stuff. But
He is.
um, yeah, Liam kind of puts him in a lot of messed up situations
Yeah.
for
And this is
sure.
also, but this is also the episode where like Liam misses the birth of his daughter.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, oh man, it's like, what are you trying to tell us, Lost? But anyway, that terrible
yeah.
episode.
No, it is.
But some really good stuff with Mr. Echo, though. I think in this episode where
Okay.
he tells the story of Aaron of Moses' brother Aaron, who's like
Mhm.
Moses didn't know how to speak, but so Aaron spoke for him, which has to this day fuels online discussion boards about like, oh, in Lost 2, who is Aaron gonna speak for? Or like everyone thought like Aaron would be like he speaks like an ent, like I speak for the island.
Oh my God.
For
Okay.
years, people thought that, but some
Oh
really good Echo stuff in that episode.
yeah. No, Echo is great in this whole season, man. He really
Yeah,
is. He's so good. Just I love the way I love the way he delivers the lines and the way he plays this character. It
he.
it's really great.
I always feel bad for this actor whose name I triple A is.
Yeah. He's at a BC and if you ever watched Oz,
Yes, I love Oz.
I love Oz. He was at a BC in that, man.
Mhm.
He's a really great actor.
Really great. Him and Michael is
Michael too. Yes,
yeah.
he was in the wheelchair in Oz.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
that's why it was a callback in one of his flashback episodes.
Matrix too. He was in the wheelchair in Matrix.
Was he in a was he?
Pretty sure.
I don't think he was.
Okay. I don't know. It's been a while.
No, because
since I've seen that.
he's Tank or Dozer's brother, right?
Yeah, and he takes over for him. But I thought he was in a wheelchair for some reason in that.
I
I
don't
don't know
think
why.
he's in a wheelchair.
I don't. It's been a while since I've seen it. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, which crazy? They're all still alive, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we're talking Mr. Echo.
Yes.
We get introduced to the tailies. Anna Lucia, Bernard, Libby,
Yes.
Cindy the flight attendant.
Right. Yep.
And that guy who says who's from Canada, but isn't, but is.
What? Who's that?
The guy that Anna Lucia throws in the tiger pit.
Yeah.
He's when they're interrogating him, when Anna's interrogating him about where'd you take the kids, he's like, and he's like, I don't know. She's like, where were you? Where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Toronto. Which, because Ethan had said he was from Canada, everyone was like, that guy's another, because Canada in Lost is a fake place.
Oh Jesus!
Because
is that real?
Yeah, because Kate also, in her first flashback episode where she works at the peach farm in Australia, when Ray Mullen asks her where she's from, she says, oh, I'm Canadian, which initially was a joke about Evangeline Lilly being Canadian, but then they turned it into Ethan saying he was from Canada. This guy says he's from Canada, so we can't trust him, because everyone who says they come from Canada is a liar in this show.
Well, that's true. That is true so far.
I'm from New York.
That's funny.
But what do you think about the tailies and the kind of dismissal of the tailies by the end of the season?
Well, yeah. They all get taken out, which we kind of saw. I think I saw it coming. It makes a lot of sense. You got to keep Mr. Echo though. Well, he made it. He made it. He made it. No, but yeah, I thought, and I did think they were the others at first. Obviously, not this time watching, but I'm saying watching the show, they definitely do make you feel like they are the others. Like this might be what the others are. Like,
yeah,
because the way they come at them on the beach is insane.
It really makes you realize, man, even before the main 815ers found the hatch, they were living easy.
Yeah.
Like, these people are scrounging for everything. Night one, people are getting abducted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they were closer to where the others are, right? Or to where the main compound is. I
know a lot about Lost.
Okay.
I do not know the exact geography of where everything is supposed to be in the fiction.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know that I've always wondered, why do they cut through the jungle and not just walk around the outside of the island?
I do wonder that a lot. I really do.
But yeah, anyway. It is interesting, actually, when they first come at them on the beach, knowing that we know there's only like 7 others in total. Or not others. There's only 7 tailies in total.
Yeah.
And 2 by the end of the season.
Yeah.
The people who initially rush when Jin comes running out of the jungle, and maybe the most... That's a gif that, like, my friends who don't watch Lost have used, where Jin comes running out and is like, others. Other than Mr. Echo, all the other people are not any of the tailies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, there's a guy who, like, kind of looks like Bernard, but he has a big mustache. And then there's a woman, there's a blonde woman, and it's like, that could be Libby, but she's like got way longer hair, not curly, and it's like, there's a woman who's kind of looks like. So I've always imagined that like those were their stunt doubles, but
They haven't cast them yet. They just
they had definitely cast them because like,
oh, okay.
like Ana Lucia was in season 1, right?
Oh well, that's no, that's true.
Um,
I wonder if they already cast Bernard at that point.
well, they must have because like it's the next episode where they're like where they throw Ana Lucia in it
Like, let's
with
think
Sawyer
of what.
and one. So they definitely had cast them because getting out to Hawaii is just like
Sure.
a whole thing. But other than
Yeah,
AAA, if you go back and watch that scene or just like the GIF, all the
Okay.
people around him are none of the tailies. It's like
Wow.
I don't know who these people are. Those are not my friends.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, what are your overall impressions about the tailies other than Mr. Echo?
I like Anna. I like Anna Lucia a lot. Her story is a little messed up though. Her story
It's
is
really messed up.
yeah. It's a pretty messed up story. And then what happens obviously on the island with Shannon is messed up. I love I love her and Saeed's interaction. I think they interact really well. Um, I'm just trying to Libby, man. I have some thoughts about Libby overall this season, just because of the reveal of who she is, how they reveal it.
And then never do anything with it.
Never bring it up again, and then just kind of kill her off like randomly.
Well, do you know about the behind the scenes drama with Sydney Watros and Michelle Rodriguez?
Okay, now.
So allegedly, well, this part's not alleged. This did happen during filming. Both Michelle Rodriguez and Sydney Watros, who plays Libby, got DUIs in Honolulu.
Okay.
So the rumor always was that they got killed off because they got DUIs, and now and the producers didn't want to deal with them. But
Okay.
Ana Lucia, but Michelle Rodriguez and all the creators have always said Ana Lucia was only ever going to be a one-time character or a one-season character, one and done. They knew that when they cast her, but it's weird. Is that PR spin? Is it not?
Right. Well, right.
Sydney Watros apparently had some contract disputes and some other commitments that as soon as she got to set was like, man, I'd really love to not be in Hawaii and doing other things right now.
Wow.
And was like hard to work with apparently, but like in 2006 is hard to work with, won't sleep with the director, or is it like
Yeah. Right.
So like who knows what that actually means, but that's why she gets killed off. And then she, even though she is way more important to Hurley, we see like Ana Lucia's ghost and stuff way more frequently than we'll see Libby. I think we see Libby like 2 more times before season 6, but we see Ana like a bunch more than that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious on why though, Saeed, because I know why he doesn't, or why he says he didn't do it, but I am surprised that he didn't kill her.
Yeah.
When she like cuts him loose finally, and it's just them two.
I think we haven't got to that episode yet because it's in it's in season 3, I think. But
well.
There's an episode in season 3. I think it's Enter 7-7, where we see Saeed was once someone who was begging to be killed because of all the terrible things he had done. Sure. And I think in this moment where Ana Lucia is essentially saying, just kill me, I deserve it, he's like, man, and he says this to her, like, you and I were both already dead
inside. Yeah.
And I think that is probably why he doesn't kill her. And he hasn't spent a lot of time in the hatch yet, which the hatch was designed to be something that brought out the worst parts of you, according to the creators. It was supposed to represent Dante's Inferno, and that's why Locke's faith is tested. Hurley is constantly tested by being like, "Oh, look at the food, Hurley. Don't you want to eat?"
There's food. Yeah.
And Saeed goes back to his torturous ways after spending a lot of time in the hatch.
Yeah. True.
So that hasn't happened yet. So the hatch has not got its grubby little tendrils into Saeed yet. So I think that's probably why he doesn't kill her there. I think he spent some time with Henry Gale, and then Ana Lucia kills Shannon. I think that Saeed's popping off, and he's
definitely killing him then. Yeah, or
he's making it hurt. Sure.
Yeah.
I love everything to do with the tailies, though. Even the other 48 days, I think, is one of my favorite episodes of the whole show.
It's a great episode. Yeah. It's just quick. I wish they would have spread it out over two episodes. I do.
I don't know, because I get what you're saying, but like we've talked about, if you do that, you have to cut an episode somewhere else, right?
True.
And it's
water and fire.
Yeah, but I think the unfortunate thing is, I think the episode that actually gets cut is SOS, the Rose and Bernard episode.
Okay.
Which is an episode I completely love. And I'll talk about, as a Canadian, I love it even more when we get there. But
see, that's the thing, though, actually, I don't like about this season, I will admit, is I don't like that they're so contentious. I kind of wanted just a little bit more time of them just kind of not being together for so long and wanting to be together.
Are you talking about Rose and Bernard, or?
Yeah, Rose and Bernard, yeah.
Oh my god. I love that they are both so in love, but also no one talks more crap to Bernard than Rose.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
And vice versa. I love when Bernard's like, "I'm a doctor," she's like, "You're a dentist."
Yeah. No, they have some great moments, but I don't know. She was like dying to see him, and then as soon as she sees him, she's like, "You're an asshole. You're an idiot."
Well, fun fact about them seeing each other is despite like the Taily beach where they filmed all the Taily stuff, and the 815 beach where they filmed all our regular stuff, were actually like right next to each other. The two of the L. Scott Caldwell, who plays Rose, and not Sam Neill, that's from Jurassic Park.
That's Jurassic Park.
Man, it's something like Sam Neill, though, who plays Bernard. Is the two of them went out of their way to not ever see each other or talk to each other before their eventual meeting on camera.
I like that.
Which is why, you get such a really great reunion between the two of them. Something we'll see a lot of with Sun and Jin reuniting eventually.
Yeah.
But they are...
I think they're great this season, too, actually.
Oh, Sun and Jin having a fantastic season, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know why? It's one of the only seasons that they spend the majority of time together.
Yeah.
I think season 1 they were broken up a lot. Season 2 they get to be together after Jin comes back from rafting.
It was a great moment too. Them reuniting was a great moment.
It was. To stick on the tailies though for a minute.
Yeah.
I really like the recontextualizing of what killed Boone. It was Bernard talking on the radio, and that's why you get the whole we're the survivors of 815.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Sam Anderson is his name. God damn it.
Okay.
Anyway,
So he killed Boone, technically, not Locke.
Locke killed Boone. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. it
We
it
don't
was
forgive
Bernard.
him. And you know
No,
what? Bernard didn't show up to Boone's funeral covered in Boone's blood.
that's true. That is definitely true.
He would never.
No, no.
But just seeing the way that they interact with each other, even the first real interaction outside of the raft crew, where Jack and Kate are playing golf, and Mr. Echo shows up with a dying Sawyer, and is like, "Where is the doctor?" It's like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god!" And then the whole interaction there, where Echo is like, "There was a girl, she was shot, and are you gonna? I'll take you there, but not if you're going with hatred in your heart." And it's like the
Yeah,
way
no
they
guns.
no guns, the way they challenge each other. Like Locke, who has been this man of faith, is faced with an actual man of faith and has to and slowly starts losing his, while Echo is elevated and becomes even more committed to the hatch.
Yeah,
Jack gets to see how someone else led a group of survivors, and then eventually forms a weird love pentagon with Sawyer and Ana Lucia and Kate.
that is again. That's the weirdest thing because I guess when Sawyer's dying or whatever, and Kate is attending to him. It's so weird. Jack gets jealous there. It's so weird to me.
Well, especially when that episode also is very strange, because I think that's what Kate did, is the episode where Kate's tending to him, and
Okay.
like the ghost of her stepfather, real father, possesses Sawyer somehow. It's like, "Katie, I know what you did."
Oh, and then at the end when he's like, "Who the hell is what is his name?"
Wayne.
Wayne. He's like, "Who the hell is Wayne?" It's like, wait a minute. So it's not real. Like, it's these are weird things that happen in this show where you're just like, what am I supposed to think about this as a viewer? Because you don't explain it ever.
Well, so into going to that episode, talking about Kate's black horse also, and her
yeah.
like vision was like, that was the horse that set me free when the marshal was taking me in. The writers' room said around this time they had they wanted to make sure that everyone, it was always consistent, who's dead, who's unalive, who's whatever. And the only people who were listed as not or undead were Echo's brother Yemi and Kate's horse. Like, those were the people who were zombies. Everyone else was a like manifestation of the Man in Black or Jacob. I don't think they had figured all that out yet.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
So it's interesting to think they had so much, and you see that goddamn little plane again in that episode, and I get so mad. I thought we were done with it.
Yeah, the little plane is in there. It is in there. Wow.
I did a quick search of the rest of Kate's episode. We never see that goddamn plane again. When she moves in with Nathan Fillion, she doesn't bring that plane.
Why not? She needs the plane.
No, she doesn't. But yeah, that whole section, and that's part of the Dante's Inferno of it all, where like Kate is being tested and confronted by her sins, and she decides to give into the darkness rather than overcome it, and that's supposed to do something.
Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird with Kate for me this season too, because she is just like all over Sawyer. Like, that's really her whole.
Except for in that episode where she makes it with Jack.
Well, yes, but for the most part of the season, she is like just up Sawyer's ass.
Yeah.
Which I think actually helps Jack out in a way, because he's just like, I'll come for the guns when I want the guns. Like, I love the way he gives that line.
I love that episode. I think it's
Yeah.
I think that's Lockdown, the episode where Locke is trapped underneath the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because that's when they're playing cards. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the playing for medicine as like, I could beat you, and then you slowly see people like coming to watch as like a
Yes.
spectator sport. He's like, when I want the guns, I'll come for the guns. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What
No, Jack is really good in that move in that episode, I would say.
I think this is a really good Jack season, I think Jack makes this is the one time I think Jack makes all the correct decisions. Every
Sure.
He eventually is the one who comes back, and he's the first person in 815 to push the button. He's the first person to say hit execute. He is the one who leads the hunting party after Michael when Michael goes off after Walt, which we can talk about that, where he's like getting catfished by I don't even know. Who do you think's on the other end talking to, because I don't think it's Walt.
No, I don't think it's Walt.
Because
either.
it got, and this isn't something I've been able to find a definitive answer to in all my readings. Like, is it Juliet on the other end? Is it Rob McElhenney on the other end? Is it
Right.
Carl? Is that Carl's one job? Catfishing Michael?
Well, isn't this just the way to get Michael like off the show too? Because
Yes.
they have to do with Walter.
Yes, and man.
I know
There's-
you love it.
I
know.
love it. I love it so much, and we're only gonna get a few more Walter sightings.
Oh, Walter, so it's so bad.
But and Harold Perrineau was always pretty pissed about the fact that he got ridden off the show.
It sucks because he really is a great actor.
He's so good, and
He
like
really is. Yeah.
he was on a season. He had like a 2-season arc on that Nathan Fillion is the oldest cop in L.A. show, The Rookie, and he was really good in that. I hear that show he's on right now is really good. I don't know anything about it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'll be honest.
I just know when it gets dark, monsters come and steal your kids or something.
Oh,
Or maybe they don't.
Crazy.
I don't know.
No idea.
I just know Harold Perrineau is on the poster going, ah!
I like him.
Yeah, he's great. And I think the episodes that he's in this season, and they're few and far between after, because he disappears in episode 11, which is the hunting party, and he doesn't reappear until the episode where he kills Anna Lucia and Libby. And that's episode 20.
Sure.
So he's gone for 8 episodes out of a 24 episode season.
I just don't know. Did he have to kill them?
I don't think he did.
I don't feel like he had to kill them, especially not Libby.
Oh no, Libby. And Michael says this too. Like, Libby was a mistake, and if Hurley had just remembered the blankets, or if he had learned where Saeed's
no, I'm
secret
not putting
sex...
it on. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting it on him.
I'm putting it. No, there's a character that we'll meet in season 4 named Frogert, who we can actually blame for all of this, and we'll talk about him in season 4.
Okay. Okay.
But he is responsible for what happened to Libby.
So
I believe it.
I have a question though. So maybe you know, maybe you don't know. What was the end game? What was the background for Libby to, like, was she just in love with Hurley this whole time and she literally just followed him to Australia?
There is literally, this is something they will never talk about.
Okay.
There are theories out there that, so let's just talk about Libby for a second.
Sure.
So Libby is in Santa Rosa in the mental institute for some reason. We never know why. Never learn why. Even in the
somewhat catatonic almost.
Yeah, even in the Flash Sideways, she's in Santa Rosa.
Yes.
Then at some point after that, she marries a very wealthy man in LA named David.
Right.
And gives her boat to Desmond.
Desmond, yes, right. That one confused
What
me
was
too.
the in-between bit?
Right. I mean, I get it. People can get out of there because obviously Hurley did. So that's
Obviously.
fine. I have no issue with that. But what is her what how was she in Australia too with Hurley on the same plane going back? Like that's the connection I
It
don't ever understand.
well, she was I forget what is Libby's job. She's not a
Well, she
nurse.
says she's a psychiatrist or a psychologist,
See,
whatever
I
it is.
always assumed that was a cover for I've been
Yes.
in a
Yes.
mental institute.
Right.
But also 2 years ago she gave a boat to Desmond. So and I guess the timeline's not all like it's weird as to when that happened.
Yes.
There are like no one knows. There are theories that Libby is from the future and she met Hurley when Hurley was in charge of the island and then he's like, "Oh, but actually, Libby, you have to go back in time to make sure that Desmond gets to the island." And then like she keeps inserting herself into Hurley's life. There are theories that the reason she's in the mental institute is because she killed her husband David, and Dave, Hurley's imaginary friend, is the David that she was married to. They're the same person, and the reason that his ghost is on the island is
Yeah.
because the body was stashed in the Elizabeth, the boat that Desmond took. So his body got to the island, and that's why the ghost is there. There's like
What the
there are so many. Libby is such an enigmatic character because they set up all this stuff with her, and
Yeah.
then because of the actress not wanting to come back and not wanting to be a part of the show, and the producers saying, "Yeah, we don't want you to be a part of the show," until
Okay.
eventually they will reach some kind of accord. Because I think she's in one episode of season 4, and then she's in a couple episodes of season 6, and she's in the church at the end, so she's clearly very important.
Right.
But there's just so much untapped potential with Libby.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing that happens with her because I just again I just don't understand why at this point she's stalking him because that's really the only thing that makes sense.
But is she even stalking him? Is
I
the
don't
thing.
know. I don't know, but that's what else makes it. Why else would she be there at the same time?
I don't know because
So weird.
apparently, like Hurley ran over her foot in the airport. Maybe I don't know. We didn't see that flashback, but
No.
it's so strange. It's so strange what happens with Libby, and we'll. The unfortunate thing is, we will never know.
Here's my theory right now.
All right, is it weirder than she's from the future?
I don't know if it's weirder than that, but it's pretty weird. She doesn't act. She never knew that Hurley was actually there, and she actually did meet him. That was the first time she thought she met him was on the plane. Still a
Maybe.
weird coincidence that she's on the same exact plane, but whatever.
You know,
Whatever. Just
it's
go with it.
It is Mr. Echo in this season who says, "Do not mistake coincidence for fate." So, that gets
I don't know.
misinterpreted and misconstrued by John Locke, where he's like, "I'm supposed to be here. This is something that's supposed to happen."
Yeah.
The way I have thought about it, and
Oh, man.
it doesn't make any sense.
I think he's my favorite performance in the whole show, though, overall.
Mr. Echo,
No, Locke.
Locke.
I think he's my favorite performance. He's just so great as that character.
I think, yeah. I could not disparage you from saying that. I think Ben. There's a lot of
Ben's
Ben
number 2, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of great performances from a lot of episodes. There's a reason he was the first one to get. Reason why he got the Emmy before Terry O'Quinn did.
That's fair. That's fair.
My theory about Libby is that and it's not a theory, and it's not really a theory because it's not backed up by anything, and it
Right.
doesn't. And if you think about it for 5 seconds, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, my theory was completely backed up with all the
I
facts.
think she's an agent of Jacob. The same way that the psychic who told Claire, "You have to be on this plane, you have to do this." We believe through circumstantial evidence that he was doing that at the behest of Jacob. Maybe she was like following Hurley around, being involved in Desmond's life, as Jacob was prodding her to prod the candidates and the other important people into the places they needed to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, again, that doesn't make any sense, so stop thinking about it.
And look, it's fun, but at the same time, like I said, I just never understood why she was there. Like once they made the connection of her being in the hospital, and that's where she knew him from. Everything else just doesn't make sense in my opinion. Like to me, at least to me.
Also, Hurley never learns that she was in Santa Rosa.
No, yeah,
He dies.
Yeah.
The last thing he says to Libby is, the last thing he says to Libby is, "Don't worry, Michael's okay." But before that, it's maybe when some wine will help me remember where I know you from.
yes.
But yeah, it's
Hurley, you're the man.
yeah. So do you want to very quickly?
Sure.
I feel like we can talk about Echo. We can talk about Echo, and then we can talk about like the Hatch or the others or any other storylines we want to get to. But before we get to that, really quick,
Yeah.
I want to talk about Rose and Bernard.
Okay.
Subversion of expectations, I think, where like we all assumed the way that Rose had been talking about her husband, like we knew he was going to be alive, because you don't have Rose saying, "No, my husband is alive," and then have him be dead.
Yeah.
So we knew he was eventually going to be alive. But I think everyone watching assumed that, it was like a high school sweetheart situation. They'd been together forever.
Yeah.
Where in actuality, they've been together 18 months, but they're so in love.
Right.
Just a really great love story, which starts off in that blizzard where they have to, as a Canadian, I love seeing the have to dig your way out of the snow.
Sure.
And I've been Bernard in that situation, saying, don't flood it, you're just digging yourself in.
Yeah.
But that was a fun behind the scenes thing where they had to go to every fast food chain in Hawaii and be like, "Hey, we need to borrow some of your cooling agents because our fake snow keeps melting."
Makes sense. That makes sense.
But then also, the reason I love this storyline also in SOS is the place where Bernard proposes to Rose is allegedly in Niagara Falls,
Right.
The U.S. That's BS. It's the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, and the reason I know that is technically you guys have the nicer side of the falls, like the waterfalls are better on your side. But you can't see them from where you are. You can only see them from Canada. And the like beautiful, pristine look that they have right behind them. I'm like, I've sat at that restaurant. I've eaten there, and that's in Canada, my guy.
Of course they're going to go for the scenery.
Yeah, of course. The American view sucks.
Well, right. Yeah.
The Canadian view is fantastic, so I always get a laugh out of that.
Sir, everything in America is the greatest thing in the world. Okay, so
not the falls. Like technically you own the better side of the falls, but you can't see it unless you come over here.
That's even better. I love that even better though. That's so great.
It's like you guys are
Just
holding
a
up.
metaphor.
America's holding the Mona Lisa, and we get to look at it.
Right, and that's the metaphor for America, right there. Exactly.
But also, one of the funniest lines in all of Lost comes from their relationship. Okay. Not said by either one of them, but do you have a guess to what line I'm referring to?
Off the top of my head, no, because I literally binged the season in like 2 days. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Hurley comes up to Jack when they are talking about the hatch and about like what they're going to do with all the food. And it's after the tailies have come.
Yeah.
Hurley's like, so the new people, they're integrating well. So Rose's husband's white.
Yes.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yes.
And I laugh. And it's like,
it's funny.
It's not even the fact that they're a mixed race couple is not the funny part. It's just Jorge Garcia's delivery of, so he's white. Weird, eh?
Yeah.
It's just so incredibly funny to me. And Jack's reaction, like, yeah, not what I was pictured either,
Right.
is
Well,
so
yeah, and
great.
it's they're playing. I think that's the the funny part of the joke is they're playing on that stereotype, and then you
Mhm.
get that, and it's like, okay, okay, fair
And
enough.
also, it always warms my heart when old
Yeah.
people can find love together.
Yes, and the way they meet is actually really fun. It's actually
Really.
really great.
And
Like you said, the snowstorm and all that. It's perfect.
totally in character also, where Rose is the one who asks out Bernard.
Yes,
And
yes,
then
I do like that part.
what do you think of, we'll move on to Mr. Echo after this, I
Sure,
promise,
sure.
as we pass an hour.
I know, right?
But what do you think of the reveal that Rose finds out she has cancer
Yeah,
and choose and in that episode tells Bernard, "No, I don't want to leave the island because I'll die if I leave." What do you think of Rose's decision there?
yeah. I think. Well, I mean, obviously, it makes sense for her.
Hmm.
She gets to. She gets what she's been wanting for him to stop worrying and to just live as long as she possibly can. You know, and be together with him because I think that they both do want to be together. I don't think
Yeah,
that has changed. Um, I just think he was getting annoying to her about it because she was trying to make peace with it, and obviously she didn't, even though she said she did. But
yeah,
she was trying to move on, and he just kept. I think for her point of view, he was reminding her of it. Do you know? Like he was like, "No, you have this," and she just wanted to be like, "Yeah, I know I have it, but I just kind of want to live my life and not think about it."
as someone whose character flaw is trying to fix problems as they arrive,
Hmm.
I've never felt more seen or more personally attacked than when Bernard was like, "I just want to get home so we can go on with
Yeah.
our life," and Rose is like, "Stop trying to fix everything." It's like, oh man.
No, but I feel for him though because he's just trying to be a good guy. He really is. Bernard's a great guy. He's a
Oh,
really great guy.
Bernard's so great.
Yeah.
The whole, like, except for taking your wife to a spiritual retreat
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
cure her cancer and not telling her about it.
Sure.
That's the one thing that doesn't go great. Bernard does poorly. Everything else, though.
No, but yeah, but again, it's still coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Yes, it's wrong. It's a bad decision, but he's not being malicious in any way. He's never
No.
malicious. Yeah.
Uh, and after that episode, like Rose and Bernard really connect more.
Yes.
Where Libby, when she goes to get the blankets and gets murdered, tells Hurley, "And why don't you go see if you can steal the wine from Rose and Bernard?" And it's like, are Rose and Bernard just like the group grandparents now, where they're just like,
Apparently, yeah.
there was probably one bottle of wine in the Dharma pallet drop, and it's like, and Rose and Bernard were like, "Hey, Son and Jin, they're young, they be out there making a GE on, but like, Grandma and Grandpa need their special juice,"
No,
and
that's
just
funny.
everyone's like, "I guess that's fine, yeah." We all
Yeah,
love
no,
Rose and Bernard.
that's great. It's great. Yeah, they are the best. They are a great couple. I don't. Here's the thing, though. Do you think they would have made it if they didn't crash on the island? I don't think they would have made it much longer.
Well, Rose would have died of cancer, yeah.
No, no, I understand that, but I think she would have left them before that. Even.
No, I don't think so, because what you forget is, like, in the flashback where she goes to see the the problematically named Isaac of Alluro, where it's like, oh
Well,
man, very
yeah,
white man taking on indigenous people's culture. Cool,
sure.
cool. 2005. She says, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna refund your money. Don't even worry about it. I can't heal you."
Yeah,
And she says, "No, don't give my husband back his money." And so I think she would have just, because she said she wasn't going to do chemo, she was just going to let it kill her.
yeah,
So I think she would have just been like, up until like, it's one of those things that I think she would have gone right up until she couldn't, and then been like, "Actually, Bernard, I've been lying to you. You don't have. I have 2 weeks to live."
yeah. Oh, I think so.
I don't think she
I
would have
don't.
left him. These
Yeah,
two are, there is, I think the only people who love each other more than Rose and Bernard are Desmond and Penny.
Oh yeah, we haven't got there yet, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a little bit, but
A
not
little bit.
really. Not really. Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
my love for Rose and Bernard aside, do you want to talk about Mr. Echo and then move on to the
I
other?
always want to talk about Mr. Echo.
Oh, I know, right? Man,
I need to build a church.
I love that. And then he abandons the church when he figures out that he has to go into the hatch.
He gets pulled around so many ways this season too. He gets pulled in so many different directions, and he's got so much going on, but he's really not doing anything. It's so weird how it's weird. I love him though. I love him so much.
Everything Mr. Echo does I know he has some lines in the whole tiger cage situation where Anna Lucia is like, bring me out of the hole and whatever. You're going to bring us back to your camp. But the whole 40-day vow of silence that he does during the other 48 days, and Anna Lucia says, you waited 40 days to talk, and he's like, you waited 40 days to cry, and it's like, and then he just gives her a big old hug. It's like, oh, look at these two.
Yeah.
These two platonic friends. Jack and Kate, take notes. You can just be platonic friends. You don't need to be banging. Kate, pay attention to them.
I wish they would just stop.
Yeah. But, and then everything with the Yemi Mr. Echo relationship, I think, is one of my favorite. Family and like the role that family plays is such a pivotal part of Lost.
Sure.
That just from that first scene where you see Echo taken away from he's playing soccer and then his brother is going to kill the guy, but then Echo does it for him. It's like everything from that moment on, like that relationship is in life and in not life is really well executed. And yeah,
I like Mr. Echo's story a lot. I like the way they set him up. I like how he gets to the island. Well, his brother gets to the island, and then how he gets to the island and figures out. Still a big coincidence that he just happens to find the trophy, which leads to his brother. And
do not mistake coincidence for fate, sir. This is a show about a magic island.
But man, in all of the craziness that they do tell with a lot of people's stories, I actually think his is one of the better told stories.
Oh yeah, like he
just
has
where he comes from and who he is to what he becomes really quickly on the island. I mean, pretty fast.
Yeah, he becomes like the either the anti or the mega John Locke, depending on how you look at him, where he is fully invested in the island, especially once he fully embraces his priesthood after finding and burning his brother's body. Which the 23rd Psalm, the first episode, the first Mr. Echo episode, is one of the best episodes. One of the first, if we were at the end of all this to like take every character's first episode and it's like their first like episode that featured them,
right?
You'd be hard pressed to find someone who has a better opening salvo than Mr. Echo trudging through the jungle with Charlie. You find out about the heroin trade with back in Nigeria. Is he from Nigeria, right?
Right. Yep.
That great scene where those two dudes talk crap to him and he kills them both with machete.
Yes.
And then his men are going to kill the boy and he's like, no, you go and tell them Mr. Echo let you live.
But even with his brother, threatening his brother and all that stuff, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he has to go through, man, to be who he is on the island.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And then he becomes the guy that has, like... He becomes, like... This is going to sound like such a insult to Mr. Echo's character. He becomes kind of the silent Bob for a while, where he has, like, one or two lines an episode, but they're like the most profound things, and he does the most important things in the episode. Where we talked about, a little earlier about how he cuts the two little beard knots
With
off,
Ben. Yep.
and he's like, "I'm sorry for killing those men, your men, but I had to do that, and I
Hmm.
hope you can forgive me." To building a church with Charlie, and then saying, "Actually, Charlie, you build the church. I was gonna go push the button."
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, he does abandon the church.
To
Um,
let's not forget, this is the first time in this season we see the smoke monster as the smoke monster,
yeah,
and the way we see it is Mr. Echo mad dogging it,
he's not backing down. I mean, he looks scared, but he's not backing down.
which is so incredible. And then later on, when John and him have that conversation about like, you looked into the heart, when I looked into the heart of the island, I saw a bright light. And Echo's like, that is not what I saw. He
Yeah,
is,
right.
he's like, no, what I saw was evil
It was
incarnate.
messed up. Yeah.
But at that point, he was still a candidate, so the monster couldn't kill him.
Yeah. Right.
Which I'm like, what was the moment that Jacob said, you know what, not Mr. Echo? Because, woof, what a
I
mistake.
don't understand though that. Yeah.
Like, I know the real reasons are both behind the scenes, you know, Adewale's parents both died, and so he wanted to go be at home closer to family. And also, similar to Sydney Watros, he showed up in Hawaii and immediately was like, this is not for me. I do not want to be in Hawaii.
Okay. Okay.
Including like he showed up to set one day before filming, I think it was the finale, with his hair in like full cornrows, being like, yeah, I'm leaving today, right? Nothing else for me to shoot. And they were like, no, you have like 7 scenes today. I'm sorry about the cornrows, but like, go to hair and makeup and get those out.
Damn.
So, and then, you know, he still, despite all that behind the scenes drama, he is still, when you talk about Lost and you talk about characters on Lost,
Oh yeah.
you will always come around to, oh man, I love Mr. Echo.
Yeah.
And like Ben used to talk about Echo all the time, and just how great of a character he was. And also, I think Echo's got 3 episodes, and all 3 are bangers. He's got 2 this season and then 1 next season.
No, I would agree with that. I think both of his episodes this season were great for sure. I just I like the way he delivers the line. Like I like the way he carries Echo, Mr. Echo,
Yeah.
because he's still very quiet, but he is intimidating and like super aggressive without being super aggressive. Like it's a very quiet performance, but it's so intense.
It is such a demanding performance, I think,
Yes.
because he has to get so much across with just like 3 different glares that he has.
And honestly, with what you said, it's pretty impressive considering he didn't want to be there. It's pretty impressive what he pulls off.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that when camera starts rolling, he's giving it all he has. And I hate that he, like Mr. Echo, Adewale Akaboy. I'm bailing on the name.
Yeah,
Adewale is his first name, and I'm just gonna say that.
there we go.
Or AAA.
Triple A, I like it too.
I hate that he has been in 2 of the worst comic book movies of all time, because I'm like, he could have been such a great like he should be a bigger deal than he is.
Luke Cage.
He's way too old to be Luke Cage now.
Now, not back then.
Not back then, no. But like,
Yeah.
he would be. That would be pretty good. But like, you know, 5 years ago, you're telling me, or 5-10 years ago, you're like, man, that's Jon Stewart right there.
I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it.
He's a little on the older side now, but like, he was already Killer Croc, and he was already the big dark elf from Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's okay. He's not technically canon in the MCU. I will not accept it. I will not accept it. Bring him in somehow.
I'm sorry, man.
Make him Blue Hawk. Something like that. I don't care. Do something with him.
I guess he's only 55. I would have assumed he was in his 60s now.
Oh, he could still do Hulk.
I
He can play
guess,
the
yeah,
Hulk.
he was only. Wow, yeah, I guess he was only like 32 then when he.
Did
Or
Lost.
30. He was only like 35 when he did Lost then. Yeah, wow.
Okay.
He just carries himself like such an established actor.
Oh, he's amazing, man. He really is a great actor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've ever seen him in, other than aforementioned, uh, he's always great in. So, um, yeah, I mean, he definitely carries a lot of scenes in this. The Charlie stuff, when he's talking to Claire and he's like, "I did not tell Charlie to do that."
No.
He's like, "Don't get me mixed up in that."
But I think that then
Like,
he gets all. He is the one who, in that Silent Bob way, like Claire has all these concerns about like,
sure,
and I'm never a fan of when TV is like pushing religion down our throat. But I think
got it.
this is the right way to do it. Where it's like, this is a priest who is just saying, "Hey man, you want your baby to be baptized and you're worried about you and the baby not being together in heaven, I can baptize you too. That's fine. That's totally cool. I don't care."
Sure.
And I think also the fact
No,
that
it makes sense. It does make sense.
the fact that he is literally a man of faith,
Right.
and that's straight up Locke's MO, or that's his title. It's like, Jack, you're a man of science, I'm a man of faith. I think it challenges Locke in a lot of great ways. And I even love in the last episode where he runs up to Charlie and is like, "Charlie, where's the dynamite? Everyone is going to die unless you help me now."
Yeah.
And then
I love it. I love Mr. Echo.
Mr. Echo's so great. And season 3, we only get him for 2 episodes, I think.
Is that it, really?
Yeah.
That quick?
Well, he disappeared. I think he dies in like episode 7 of Lost. I think it's right after the Hydra stuff. All the Hydra Island stuff. But he goes missing for a while.
Okay.
Oh man, actually, he dies in episode 5 of season 3.
Yeah, I like him so much. I just like him. He's
so good.
Wow. So he's gone pretty quick then.
Pretty quick. Quick. Well, do you want to talk about the other big addition to the cast and through extensia the others? The leader of the others is here in this season.
His name is Henry Gale.
Is it?
He is from Minnesota, and he has a hot air balloon that is 98% helium and 2% hot air.
I mine non-metallic minerals. What does that mean, Ben?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, I was the center of attention at all the gallows or whatever he says. So, he's so weird. He is so weird and creepy in this.
He's so good, and like Desmond,
He's great.
Henry and Cusack was one of those, or not Henry and Cusack. Why can't I think? Who's the actor who plays Ben? What's his name?
I do not know his name off the top of my head. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna look at it up right now, and I'm gonna find it, and it's gonna make me mad. I didn't find it, but I did say it
earlier.
Oh, Michael, whatever. Anyway, no, it's not. But but so similar to Desmond, he was only contracted for a certain amount of episodes. I think like 5.
Also, they didn't know who he was at that point?
They didn't. I think Michael Emerson. God damn it! Also really good on Arrow.
Yes, he is.
He was really good, and other things. Person of Interest.
Yeah.
Him and Terry O'Quinn, who plays Locke, they keep threatening to do a movie together, but they're both getting older.
I would love to see
every
that.
year they tweet out about how they're hanging out. Maybe they'll do something together, and I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
Crap or get off the pot.
Just do a home video. Put it out. We'll watch it.
But Michael Emerson was only contracted for 4 episodes initially. Okay. And then after the first episode, they were like, nah, this is the guy. He was just supposed to be like another Ethan who essentially led them to the others to where we got at the end of it. But he was so good and so menacing that there's a smile that happens after Saeed is brought out of the armory and the door slowly closes,
Yep.
and it closes on his face, and there's just a smile like that Damon Lindelof and Carlton Hughes were like, no, that's the guy. That is the leader of the others. We thought it was MC Gainey. We thought it was Tom Friendly. No, this is the Creepo Depot leader of the others.
Well, wait a minute. I thought that he was. Wasn't he in season 1? Didn't he send Ethan and
No, that the episode you're thinking of where Ben sends Ethan is the first episode of season 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we haven't even seen that yet?
No, this is why you don't do
Yes,
extra credit
that's
and
why.
watch the
Yeah,
beginning of season
that's what
3.
happened. That's what happened. Damn it. Okay, because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought we saw this already.
No. Well, otherwise the reveal would have been ruined of who he was.
Yeah, him and that damn armory dude is it's amazing. It's amazing because he is. You don't know what the hell what he's doing, what his end game is, in that whole time.
And there are so many times where you think he's done something. It's like, oh man, now is the point where he's not in control. And he's always so in control. Like when he attacks Ana Lucia, and it's like, Goodwin was a good person. Why did you kill him, Anna?
Yeah.
Even though we know that we'll find out next season, essentially set Goodwin to die.
Yeah, basically.
Because Juliet and Goodwin were getting close.
Right.
Or in the lockdown episode where it's outside, it's hunky dory, and Locke and Sawyer are playing poker. But in the hatch, Locke and Ben are having a panic attack. It's like, everything's going wrong right now.
Yes. Yes.
That episode, and you think like he could have escaped, but he didn't. Oh no. And then he gives Saeed the map to his balloon and they don't find it, but then they do. And I don't think any of us ever thought that he was a good guy.
No.
But the show keeps making you think, oh man, are they double bluffing me?
Well, yeah.
Are they making him so evil that he's good?
Yeah, no, I didn't trust him from the beginning. I never trusted him. I knew he was bad immediately because like you said, he's just so good at it.
Yeah.
He's so good at playing that part that it was obvious that he was, yeah.
I could never trust him like if I met him in real life and I was stabbed in the chest and he's like, I can help you, I'd be like, get literally anyone else.
Get away from me.
It's like, I'm just the actor Michael Emerson. You love me and stuff. And I'm like, I get it,
but get
away from me.
Exactly. That's funny.
But we talked about this before about there's a great line where he's like, Jack finally lets him out of the armory. He's having breakfast with Locke. And he's like, if I was really a bad guy, what I would do is I would draw a map to where all my people would be waiting for them. And then capture them, trade them for me. It's a pretty good plan. But of course, that's not what I'd do. You guys got any milk? And then the episode ends. And it's like,
I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's so, like, there's never a part where you're not like, oh, yeah, he would kill every single one of them if they would just let him. I really feel like he was like I felt like he was a serial killer at that point. I was like, this dude will kill everybody in here.
I'd love to see him. Like, usually they don't let Americans do these roles, but I would love to see him as a Bond villain. Like, I know he might be getting too old for...
No, I think you're onto something there, actually.
But, like, the fact that he's American, I know pretty much automatically disqualifies him. But
sure.
Where's Rami Malek from?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly. So, like, Javier Bardem's not British, so, like, let's give it to Michael Emerson. I think he could really do something great. And, like, low key, his flashback episodes are some of my favorite episodes of the whole show.
Okay. Okay.
We'll get into that, I think, in next season. Maybe season 4 is when we finally get it, but we'll see. He is.
He's a great character for sure. He definitely becomes a great character,
Mhm.
but in this season alone, man, he really establishes himself
Coming
for
in,
for sure.
getting caught in the net by Rousseau, and then like
Yeah,
he's one of those guys who you hear about this a lot in improv and undercover work. I'm not a cop. I don't know why I said that as if I knew what undercover work was like. Um, but like, never, like, always believe the lie. Never break character. This
sure.
is your life now. And Ben, there's a part of me that like he got shot in the shoulder by a harpoon by Rousseau, and Rousseau immediately was like, "Do not trust him." Which
Yeah,
later on, like, it won't make sense that she isn't like, "Yeah, he's the one who stole my baby."
yeah, yeah. I don't know if she knows it was him though specifically.
He has a like face to face conversation with
Oh,
her,
yeah. No, you're
where
right.
he's like,
Never mind.
"And if you hear whispers in the jungle, you run the other way." Why? I
Yeah,
don't know why that's what Ben sounds like, but that's what
yeah,
Ben
yeah.
sounds like now.
No, I remember that now. You're right. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
But Rousseau, she's been by herself in the jungle. Maybe she does.
She's not all there either. She's a
She's
little
never
crazy.
been good with faces. She's like,
Well,
I don't know. But also like Ben straight up knocks himself out trying to crawl into the vent.
yeah.
A part of me believes he did it on purpose to like build sympathy.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
The other part of me, once we find out like that Ben was part of the Dharma Initiative, like I think the reason he starts freaking out when the lights start blaring is he like, oh no, this is terrible. I've heard about this. The world's going to end. John, John, John. My name is Benjamin Linus. I'm the leader
Right.
of the others. You need to let me out.
Oh wow. That's you know what? That's yeah. Yeah.
But he's really great. But this is also a season where, and we'll get into this more next season.
Okay.
But we get a lot more others in this
Sure.
season, and we learn a lot more about them. Where Tom Friendly, the guy who took Walt off the boat, we see him a couple more times in like the hunting party. We meet Alex and get confirmation that is Rousseau's Alex.
True. True.
And then Miss Clue and Danny. So two not great characters.
So wait, what is with the? Is that a fake village? Is that just a village they use? Like, yeah. What is going on with that? Because it just doesn't make any sense to me.
So in my head, it's the village long stretch.
Yeah.
And this is another thing where Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse to this day are like, I don't know, maybe that was where they lived and they did something else. It's like, no, we know they have like a town.
Right.
They live in
That's
houses.
what I mean. Yeah.
So we
weird.
know that before the purge, before the others killed all the Dharma Initiative people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That the others lived in the woods. I like to think that was like their main base camp. And then in order to like trick Michael and stuff, they like got to hatch
But I thought that
doors.
was over near where the temple is.
Well, the temple's not for everybody, right? Ben will say that in
True.
season 4, where like it's only for certain people. It's only for Hero, whatever his name is, and John Lennon.
Basically.
I hate those characters so much. When we get to season 6, I'm gonna have a whole thing on the temple others. They suck, and I'm glad they all died.
Okay. So yeah, again, like I said, little details I'm not going to remember. So yeah,
But
I don't.
But it was a staged village to like, fake Michael out so he wouldn't have the whole story to tell to the others or to the 815 people.
Yeah.
But also maybe it was where they used to live, because Ben's also like, he's kind of like Batman, The theatricality, deception. Oh man, he would have been a good Riddler like 20 years ago.
You're not wrong, for sure. Especially if it was more like the Batman style, the Matt Reeves
Yeah.
Batman
Oh my
style,
god. You know what?
serious.
Make him Hugo Strange.
Oh wow. Hey,
Eh, you know, Matt Reeves. That's for free.
it's a good one.
Um, I don't know. Like Ben is also the person who's making Tom Friendly wear a fake beard and making everyone use fake names and
I
walk through
don't
the
get it.
jungle in dirty
I
clothes.
feel like they just didn't know where they were going with the others yet. There's no way they knew where they were going with the others yet.
No, I don't think they did either. I think it,
Yeah,
but then again, they know that the others are scientifically inept, or not inept, the opposite of inept.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they are scientifically savvy, where they are like taking blood vials from Michael,
Sure.
and they're doing some kind of scientific testing on Walt, where they talk, where Walt shows up and is like, Walt. They're lying. This isn't actually it. They put me in the room. And Miss Glue's like, oh, you don't want to go back in the room, do you, Walt?
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's weird. That is a weird part of the show, of the season. Weird.
I love that where they have to like Lord of the Rings shoot it where Walt comes in to give Michael a hug, but they have to have Michael sitting down and also shoot it from high so that Walt looks small when
Yeah.
in actuality he's like grown a foot since
Oh my
3 days ago.
It's weird, dude. It's weird.
Yeah. And then also when they finally get reunited on the boat, they like Walt has to be down in a hole. It's like, I'm down here, Dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
To not tip off that he's like shaving between takes. It's like, I'm a man now, Dad.
And I also don't believe that they didn't have a better plan for if Ben got captured.
Well, I think this
Like they
was
just kind of give everything away, and he's just kind of like, I didn't really expect you guys to do all that. Like I would think he would have been like, if I get captured, like you guys know not to give away like anything, right?
well, actually, I think this was 100% the plan.
Oh, okay.
Because
The boat too, because he seemed pretty pissed about the boat.
yeah, I don't. Well, I know you haven't watched the missing pieces.
Yeah,
That
no, I
come out
have
in
not watched that.
So
No.
in one of those, it's Juliet and Ben talking, and they're like, "Whoa, Walt, right? More than we bargained for." And Ben says something to that effect when he's like, "Yeah, taking Walt. We can't handle this kid. He's fucking crazy."
Oh wow, okay.
So and he says that in the finale where he's talking to Michael, where he's like, "Yeah, taking Walt was more than we expect, a bigger challenge than we expected." So he's not happy that he's leaving, but he's like, "I also know this is not a tenable situation. Also, I have a tumor on my spine the size of a bowling ball.
Yeah,
I'm more concerned about that."
sure. Sure.
But in the Nikki and Paulo episode that we'll get to next season, we see Juliet and Ben again in the Pearl watching everyone in the hatch, and they essentially lay out Ben saying, all right, so I'm going to get captured, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and blah, 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 blah. So
Okay.
this was the plan. I think Ben maybe is just putting on an air of holier than thou, because even when he shows up at the boat, when he first shows up, he's like, Tom, why aren't you wearing your beard? And it's like, they know. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah.
Because they first find all the fake beards and stuff in the staff during Claire's trip.
It just sucks because I really do like Michael up until this season. Like this season, it's just like, damn, dude, you didn't have to do all that. Like you could have brought them in on it.
I don't know, man. Like you're doing it, and I think Michael brings up. I don't agree with him,
Sure. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
And maybe after I have a kid, I'll feel differently. But I kind of also see where he's coming from, where he's like, none of you are parents. I am. They literally have my son captured, and
But
based
he
on
has a boat.
Well,
Why didn't he just go around the island back to where they like? I don't
well, he
understand.
doesn't have a boat.
At the end, he does.
Well, at that point, there's just been, and that's one of my biggest problems with the finale, and I think also part of the. We talked about this before the show. The whole show was, the whole finale was written, shot, edited, and released to the public within 14 days.
Yeah.
Where if you watch that scene, the hatch blows up, the sky goes purple, everyone's like, ah,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
and then Ben and Michael continue their walk like nothing happened. So
Okay.
I think at that point Michael's like, well, I don't know what happened. I don't want more purple sky crap to happen. I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
I think what they initially wanted to happen was Michael leaves, sky goes purple, Michael can't come back. But because of the rush shooting schedule and production schedule, that just didn't happen.
But wouldn't he? No, wouldn't he? I don't know. Because he says you have to go on this bearing. Exactly.
Yeah. Michael's always wanted going back to the raft. Like his whole thing has always been,
Oh, yeah.
I don't want my son to grow up here.
Yeah. No, I get why. Yeah, I guess it's just I don't know. It's a messed up. It's so messed up.
Speaking of the raft,
Yeah.
and stuff, we'll get back to the Ben of it all. I just wanted to make sure that this show didn't go without me saying, the shark that attacks Michael and Sawyer on the raft has a name, and his name, which the most paused image in my household was pausing to see the shark with the Dharma logo tattoo on it. Because I don't know, you saw that, right?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, the shark when it goes by, very clearly big ass Dharma tattoo on it. So like that was the first hint that there was more going on with the Dharma initiative.
Gotcha. Okay.
And its official name in both the by the creators and in the Lostopedia is James S. Sharkington.
Jeez.
That's his name.
Of course it is.
Anyway, back to Ben. So,
I want it to be that actually. Now that's what I want it to be.
But yeah, if you go back to the first episode and when you see the shark swimming by, like on its flipper, just like bam, Dharma.
Wow. Okay.
Huh. Yeah.
That's
so this
great.
is the first season that starts to like tease us about the others a lot more, and we'll get a lot more next season, obviously, where they kind of demystify the others. And like tell us what's actually going on with them, because we see a lot of them, whether they got the child walking through the jungle with the teddy bear barefoot.
Yep.
To the whole, we're gonna cut Claire open and steal the baby. To the Ben of it all, where Ben clearly knows all about these people, where he knows Anna Lucia murdered that person. They know everything.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting what they do with the others this season and how they set that up going forward.
Well, yeah, because in the beginning of the season, they make them, like they say, how you said with the tailies, how they like started kidnapping them on day one.
Day one.
But that never happened in the first season. Like that's what's so weird. I don't know why.
I think
none of that happens.
So you'll see going like we will see Ethan more in like flashback forms. And Ethan is kind of like a crazy attack dog guy. Yeah. Where like he's a renegade. So but where Goodwin is kind of, he's a goody two shoes. He does the job. He's mixing dangerous chemicals. Well, goody two shoes. He's having an illicit affair on an island that only has like 100 people, but
yeah.
But like I think Goodwin just better at his job. Also, he made it to day 45 without getting detected.
That's true. That's true.
Like Ethan may die technically after Goodwin does, but Goodwin, he remained undetected.
Yeah.
Right up until the last moment.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And really, the only way she figured him out was the knife.
Yeah. I think it was also fact that once Josh was dead, it was like, okay, you know,
Well, yeah, well, sure,
it's
sure.
not me, it's not Cindy, and I do really like that also with the
Yeah,
you weren't wet coming out of the water. Did
yeah,
you only come back because Bernard saw you? It's like, wow, what a reveal.
yeah. Well done. It was a well done season overall, man. I think, right? I
Yeah,
think it was.
really good.
I think it really is.
I think also just I know, we're running long.
No, no, it's fine. Well, I mean, it's a whole season. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's gonna be a longer episode for
Did you
sure.
have a favorite episode or a favorite moment from the season?
Oh, for me, it's easily it's Mr. Echo's episode, the his origin episode.
Yeah,
I love that episode so much.
it is really good.
Um, I like the way that they bring him around and how his brother's like you'll never be a priest, and at the end he's like I am a priest. He's like yes I am a priest.
I Yeah, that one is it's hard not to say that. I love the other 48 days, and I also love
Mhm.
uh I also love the Jin Sun meet cute episode.
I yeah I don't understand why they tried to set that up as an affair. I don't know. It's a weird one.
Well, yeah, that we'll get more into that next season when it's like,
Yes.
who is the father?
Uh, I don't want to get into that.
No, neither do I. That's the
They're
Sun stuff
so
I don't
good
like.
this season too, man. They really were really good this season. I like that she finally stands up to him and says what she has to say, and
Yeah.
he respects her for it. Man, I love their relationship and how it's evolved.
I also love all the stuff with them and Saeed at the end of the episode, at the end of the season, where
Yes,
they're like, "We're going, we're doing it, we're going together," and Jin's like, "No, she's not going," and Sun's like, "Okay, then I'm going," and Jin's like, "Okay, I'm going," then Sun's like, "I'm not going,"
right, right.
and Saeed's like, "I only want Jin," and Sun's like, "I'm coming, I don't care." And it is interesting, actually. Someone pointed this out to me, where if you take Michael out,
Okay.
the it's all of our main 8 candidates. Where, and then if you break it up, those are all the people who are going to be on the submarine in season 6, and all the people who go in the jungle with Michael survive the submarine, and all the people on the boat die in the submarine. So it's just interesting that they already have set up like these pairings and these connections.
Sure, sure. Huh. Okay, okay. That's a good one, man. Oh, man, there's so much stuff we haven't got to yet.
I know. And
There's so much stuff.
I think this is, even through talking about it, I'm like, yeah, you know, even bad loss is good loss. And there's a lot of really great stuff in this season. I think a lot of it is every time I see Mr. Echo on screen, I smile.
Yes, yes.
But this is probably again, your mileage will vary on season 6. But if this is the low part of Lost, like, woof, we're in for it now. We're in for some
Yeah.
good stuff. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think the I don't think the opening 6 episodes of season 3 are very strong, but but then it gets really good again.
No, it does. This is a good season coming up for sure.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, because we get into the Jack and blah 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 stuff. So okay. The Red Sox won the World Series. I just love that part. I think
That's
it's
a
funny.
great scene, yeah.
It is. It's
We'll
funny.
talk about that next
Yes.
month.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, I'm really, this is really, I think, the Iron Man 2 of Lost, where there's a lot of good bones on it, but it's pushed under the weight of having to set up the rest of the series.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's that makes sense.
And also, nothing in Lost will ever be more shocking than Michael shooting Libby, shooting Ana Lucia, shooting Libby,
Yeah.
freeing Ben, and shooting himself. It's like, whoa!
It's
You
definitely
can't-
one of the craziest twists and that happens for sure.
It's like, he's a good guy. Good guys don't do that.
Right.
That's
And
what bad guys do.
yeah, and that's what makes it so great and so powerful too. It's just that you're like, wait a minute, Michael, what are you doing? You can't do that. No.
Uh,
Yeah. Again, yeah, I know it's not. That's like you said. It's the weird thing that this isn't some of the best stuff that Lost gives us, but it's still pretty damn good.
Also,
It's still pretty good.
we didn't even talk about the fact that the hatch blows up at the end of the season. We have no more hatch.
Yeah, it becomes a big ball of metal.
Which I think is part of that. Like, we talked with the unevenness. And I think the writers were like, yeah, we don't know what else to do with the hatch, so blow it up. Even though I love that episode with Desmond.
Well, I think we needed it, right? We needed to see what would happen.
Yeah.
We needed to see what would happen if the button didn't get pushed. We needed to see it.
Yeah. Last little behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
This season contains the only time that a storyline was completely scrapped and replaced with another one.
Okay.
Where Adrift, the second episode of the whole season, was initially conceived as a Sawyer flashback episode, where we learn about the terrible things that happened on the Tampa job, which is the job that got Sawyer so pissed at the T-1000 in his last flashback that he was. But while writing it and like getting ready to shoot it, they were like, "This is bad. This is a really bad episode. We are making a bad episode of television." So they replaced it with Michael and Susan go to court.
Of course.
Which is, makes me hate Susan so much more, even more than I
Oh
did before.
man, yeah, that is a pretty messed up episode, man.
But with all that in mind and knowing that, when you watch Adrift now, a lot of the things that like take us into the flashback are Michael yelling at Sawyer, and then Sawyer being like, "Yeah, I know, dude, lost."
That's fair. That's funny. Man.
Yeah, that. Also, after the big shakeup in season 1 about we are moving to the caves, everyone's moving to the caves. Episode 1 of season 2 is the last time we will see the caves until season 6.
No way.
Until Hurley and Jack in season 6 on their way to the lighthouse find Shannon's inhalers in the jungle, we will not see the caves again. After all the kerfuffle about like we gotta move to the caves, we gotta do this.
Funny.
Everyone go. First episode of season 2, they're like, but the beach, right? Let's just stay there.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
So R.I.P. to the caves.
Well, is that the same time we see them in the flashbacks with Jacob?
Or
is that
that's
before
also
that?
no, that's also in season 6.
Okay, so it's all the same season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
This is the last time until season 6 that we will see the caves.
Gotcha. Okay.
Everything else will be in New Otherton, Hydra Island, or on the beach.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. After all that.
That's funny. That is funny though, because that was like the serious part of everything. I was like
half
we can
the
be
season.
safe. Yeah.
Half the season's like, are we going to move to the caves? Are we going to Jack and Saeed?
And the caves are pretty big, man. They could like really do them up pretty nice. And,
yeah.
Like,
but after Boone died there, the mystique was gone. It's like, ugh, a guy died here.
True.
Claire got kidnapped from here. Like maybe the beach.
Maybe the beach. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. I never noticed it until you just said it, but yeah, that is great. They don't.
Also, Charlie's a joke thief, where several times a character will say a joke around Charlie, and then episodes later he will repeat it, not crediting anyone. Where there's Bernard tries to recruit Mr. Echo to build the SOS sign. And he's like, so you don't call, you don't write, you just go build a church? And Charlie's standing there, and then when Echo moves into the hatch, he goes up to Echo and says,
yeah.
So you don't call, you don't write? And I don't have the other one written down, but Charlie does that 2 other times in the season where someone
Wow.
says a joke in his proximity, and then 2 episodes later, or 2 or 3 episodes later, Charlie parrots it back
That's
to
funny.
someone else. Not a creative bone in his body.
Ah, right. I feel bad. I really do feel bad for Charlie though overall this season.
Well,
I do.
you don't have to feel too bad for too much longer.
Oh, come on. Too soon. Not even
Too
there yet.
soon. It
It's
hasn't
too
happened
soon.
yet.
I know. It's already too soon.
22
Uh,
episodes.
ugh, man, that's going to be tough
Yeah.
to watch again. I just watched the Two Towers too.
Damn.
I know.
Big Dominic Monaghan weekend at the Jedi Academy, I guess.
It is, sir. Yes. Oh man. So I'm trying to think if we missed anything. I don't know if we missed anything.
Uh,
Going back through. I will say this. There's a great line when Rose and Locke are sitting on the beach, and he's like, "You're sitting in my spot," and they're having a conversation, and they're talking about his leg, and she says, "Yeah, but you and I both know that it's not going to take that long
yeah, and
to heal." I really love that line, and I love that moment between them.
it is it is a beautiful moment where
Yeah.
you find out that Rose has known the whole time that Locke was
Yep.
in a wheelchair, and the two of them share this great moment where he doesn't know that she has cancer, but it's like, wow, you understand the specialness of this place.
Hmm.
And the only other thing I'll say is I love that John Locke's last words of this season are, "I was wrong," as the hatch is blowing up, because he spends the back half of the season being like, nothing's gonna happen. It was probably the light was just Desmond taking a poop. But
Oh man.
and then
The whole what? So here's my other thing.
yeah,
I do have a question about this, only because to me it doesn't make sense in the timing that it happens. What is the big deal that Jack has to be the first one to hit the button?
I think it's just because Jack is Jack's the leader. If Jack endorses it, it makes it a real thing. I think also like
Okay.
Locke saying the whole man of science, man of faith thing is when Jack comes back
Yeah.
uh with the numbers and is like, Hurley, those are the wrong numbers. Stop trying to blow us up.
Yeah. It's a weird.
Him coming back and giving the right numbers is not him accepting the specialness of this place. Him pushing the button though is him being like, I guess it's magic. And I love when Desmond comes back and he asks Jack, so you still pushing that button? And Jack's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still pushing it.
But again, he is always, even when he's helping with the button, he is always dismissive of it.
Yeah.
Like he is not like, yeah, the button, we're pushing the button. When like you said, that conversation with Desmond, when he's like, yeah, we're still pushing the button. Like he doesn't. It's not like he's like excited or anything about it. He's just like, yeah, dude, that's something they're doing. I don't really care.
But it's kind of like, it's kind of like your friend. It's like your friend saying, yeah, I would never, like, we should not watch this movie. It's a terrible movie. I don't watch Star Wars. I hate Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, you see a picture of them and they're at the midnight premiere of Force Awakens. And it's like, okay, but your words aren't saying anything because you're already on board, Jack.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I just feel like there was a few times, and I'm trying to just remember a few of them, or any of them, really. But I remember distinctively thinking a few times, that's not that character. That character wouldn't do that.
I think Jack's in he's in a crisis of faith right now. Where, like, he's not only has he seen his ghost dad multiple times,
Yeah.
like Desmond, the person who showed up and helped his leg, a person from his past has shown up on the island. Cade and him are making out. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
everything's going right for Jack.
Sure.
Oh, you know what? That is actually something before we wrap up that I wanted to say.
Okay.
Great. After Anna Lucy is killed, and Sawyer and Jack are arming up for war. A really
Yeah.
great like friend moment where he's like, "I screwed her," and,
Yes.
and Jack's like, "What? Why are you telling me that?" It's like,
Yes.
"Cause you're about the
Yes.
closest thing I got to a friend on this island, Doc." And it's like, now let's go kill some people.
Yeah. So yeah, again, another great performance this season.
Yeah.
Sawyer's great.
Really
He is
great. And I feel
great.
like next season, especially, I feel like Sawyer's kind of going to get short shrift a little bit. Like he'll definitely have some good episodes, but for the most part, I think he will play second fiddle to a lot of people next season. But
Yeah.
this season, really great stuff. Like we didn't even talk about the whole long con of it all, where he stole the guns.
Right. 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 Which it was a great move. It was a great move
I
because
don't know, man. Kidnapping son, not a.
oh no. But what I'm saying is, I think
It was
I
smart.
mean,
Like he's a
from
very
his
clever man.
perspective, again, I go by from their perspective. Like, what would they like? What makes sense for them to do? And
Yeah.
that totally makes sense for him to be that guy.
And
do that.
also, not only that, but like the way that Jack does get the guns eventually is Sawyer, go get the heroin. And
Yeah.
Sawyer's like, without even thinking about it, he's like, I'm going. And then Jack's like, Kate, go with him. And it's like, because Doc, you know that I got the heroin with the guns. So I can either sit here and let Libby suffer, or I could show you where the guns are. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well done all around. Well done all around. I think
really great
this season, man. This season was.
Again, mileage
It's
may
weird
vary.
to say that this is one of the worst seasons because I really just going back through it again now. I really enjoyed it, man. I really, really did.
Again, mileage may vary. I think this is a great show altogether.
Sure.
And I think even with the exception of Fire Plus Water, the Charlie Pace flashback episode, not a terrible episode.
I'm telling you, extend the 48 days and just get rid of that episode. That's what you need to do.
I don't think you can do that. Though. I think there's it's anyway.
Charlie doesn't need to kill a baby.
He does not need to try and drown a baby. But it does lead to a very powerful moment in the finale, I think, where he's chucking the Virgin Marys into the ocean.
Yes.
And Locke's just sitting and being like, yeah. But bad episode. But I'm excited to talk next time we get together to talk about season 3. Which
yes, it will not be at the end of the month again. This has just been a crazy month for me overall. So
yeah.
It just took me a while to actually have time to sit down and watch. But
and you're already started, so
yeah, no, I'm gonna start over though.
Yeah.
I definitely am. But I wanna really get into this actually again because I this is one of those shows where if I start watching it, I have to and want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to stop watching it. So that's what I love most about a show like this is that it's something that even if I've seen it before, I still want to keep watching it. So
yeah, and Lost is one of those shows that like you learn and you get something new out of it every time you see it.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Oh, definitely. Dave, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me over at Northern Entertainment Group on YouTube every Tuesday talking about the best and brightest in TV, except for this Tuesday where I thought it was Monday until someone asked me if I was doing the show. And I said, oops, I straight up didn't go to work today because I thought it was Monday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that was embarrassing. Luckily, I had some coworkers cover for me.
Oh, wow.
But every Tuesday talking, March has been a crazy time for TV. Now that Mando's done, Succession's coming to an end, and Ted Lasso's only got a few more episodes in it. I'm sure there's other TV that I'm forgetting to talk about, but we talk about it all, the latest and greatest in TV, Netflix. We're talking Survivor. We're talking everything, all the greatest in TV that's happening every Tuesday, 8 Eastern, Northern Entertainment Group. Be there or get lost. We don't talk about Lost. They won't let me anymore.
Are you like 50 about with Doctor Who? Is that what happened?
I relate a lot. I used to relate a lot of stuff back to Lost, and then I
Fair
realized
enough.
that nobody was giving it back. Nobody was giving me what I needed.
I
So,
got you.
yeah, so you know.
Fair enough.
And they also sat me down and said, "Dave, enough. Neither of us have watched the show."
Oh, we got to get them to watch it then.
I tell them all the
They
time.
have to. Yeah, that's
And I
damn.
said, now there's even a companion piece to go
I
along with it.
I feel so bad for hating it for so long and not watching
Yeah.
it.
I tell them every week, I'm like, you're dumb if you're not watching Lost. Give it a chance.
It's
Also,
a
while I'm here,
yeah.
everyone, watch Nathan Fillion's The Rookie. Really fantastic show.
There you go. There you go. Great recommendation. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm still surprised that Saeed and Sawyer aren't bigger. The actors that play them, I should say,
Yeah.
aren't bigger. Those two are great, man. They're
I think
so
it was
great.
the thing. People have talked about Josh Holloway being too attractive. And like that's why he didn't get roles. It's like you're too handsome to be a leading man. It's like,
Really? I
yeah,
was
it was like the John Hamm thing where it's like you're both handsome and funny. So like, what do
sure.
we do? What do we do with you? What are we doing? Like, why isn't John Hamm more famous?
Well, no, you're right. You're definitely right about that. He's great, man. He is great and everything.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it all the way through, but I've heard Mad Men is amazing.
really good.
And I mean, I've seen episodes of him or of the show, and he's always great in it. So,
And
yeah,
Naveed Andrews, who plays Saeed, he convinced us all he wasn't British.
dude, that guy is just he is one of those actors that really is when you watch him, he's just on another level. Like
Mm-hmm.
he really is. Like you can just tell he has the whatever it is.
Whatever it is, he has it.
Yeah, whatever makes a great actor, he just has that. Like you can tell immediately.
Yeah,
You know, and I don't want to put him on this level, but it's sort of like when you're watching a Travolta, a Denzel or something like that. Not Travolta.
I
Uh,
was like, wow.
yeah,
I
no,
guess
no,
we
no, no,
don't think highly of.
no. Like a Denzel or just somebody of that caliber that just you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's what this person
no,
does.
he's really good. Yeah, no, Naveed Andrews
Yeah,
is really amazing.
again, I just don't understand it. But yeah, guys, please check out the channel Multiverse of Geekdom. You guys can find me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck, Jedi Academy. This once a month, we are going to do. I don't know, Dave, if you're interested in Once Upon a Time, because that was one of the ones that he wanted to watch.
I've never
That
seen Once Upon a Time before, but you know,
okay,
also I do in about 4 months have a baby coming, so that will
that is fair.
impede
That
my
is
ability
fair.
to watch a bunch of TV. But you know, we can re-examine that. I'd love to talk about Once Upon a Time at some time.
Okay. So that was sort of where we were what we were planning with this because that was another show he really wanted to go back and rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Ben did. But yeah, guys, check out Titans of the Turf also on the channel. We have two matches coming at you this week. Some scheduling issues happened with the third match, so we couldn't get the third match out to you. But we have our live. We had Paul Preston on this past Sunday from the Schmodown and a whole bunch of other stuff he's got going on. So we had him on Sunday. It was really great. But yeah, guys, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers still. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Um, we need to get to 1,000. It's a button. Just click it. Little click. It's
Click.
over.
Just one click. Don't click
It's over.
twice.
Yeah, don't click twice. um, but yeah, guys, come back. We will definitely have this coming out very soon for season 3. Really excited to get back and watching this again and talking about it, Dave. What are you most looking forward to? I guess for season 3, that would be the best question.
Um, the polar bear that they try to tell us isn't just a man in a polar bear costume. It's like no, that's just a guy in a polar bear suit. That's just like a big guy in a polar bear suit.
Fair
But no,
enough.
I think the obviously I think the finale of next season is up there with Exodus as the best episodes of Lost.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm excited for the Red Sox winning a World Series finally.
That'll never happen. That'll
It'll
never
never.
happen.
It'll never happen. It just will never happen.
They'll also never reelect George Bush. Like that'll never happen.
Right? No, none of that stuff.
What a great. I don't love the stuff that happens on Hydra Island, but I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm just excited to talk about Sawyer in a cage throwing, trying to get a treat out of a hamster trap or whatever.
only took the bears 2 hours. How many bears were there?
Exactly.
That's what Sawyer's problem is. Not that he's dumber than a bear,
Right.
but it's like I'm smarter than one bear. But like if there were 7 bears.
Wow. Yeah. But guys, for the Multiverse of Geekdom, Lost Season 2, let us know what you thought down in the comments. And we will see you guys next time.
See you in another life, brother.
There you go. Wise words.